I'm not paying someone $2,000 a song to make my shit sound like ass. I'll make it sound like ass myself.
Jpegmafia has overcome many challenges in his life associated with racism, depression, anger, and trauma. He seemingly was making no progress in his career. However, between the years 2018 to 2021, Jpeg would drop 3 consecutive classics in his discography and some of his most popular tracks to this day. In these albums were his most experimental beats, with the introduction of melodies into his tracks as well. This incredible run of albums would begin with the project. After moving to Los Angeles in late 2017, Jpegmafia would drop his first complete album, Veteran, which was one of our first insights into the more melodic and experimental beats that were to come in the near future. This change in direction from his previous project Black Ben Carson took fans of the alternative sound by storm, with some of the songs like 1539 Calvert and Baby I'm Bleeding being some of his most popular songs to this day. Jpegmafia was super experimental with the production of this album, and it was completely self-produced. The name of this album is also a reference to his time he served in the military, where he spent up to 4 years in Iraq and some time in Germany and Japan later on.
Military, I still hate the military. The first place I deployed was Kuwait. I got off the plane. It's like you walk out, but it's like an oven, and you can't step anywhere. It's just so fucking hot. It's like 140 degrees or some shit like that. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna be for a year or so.
Up until 2015, where he was honorably discharged. This album would also have mostly positive reviews, and it was followed by the 2019 album. Initially, I hated this album on my first couple of listens. However, after returning to this album for my research, I actually started to see the vision. This was the melodic album of the 3, and it was another evolution of the previous Jpegmafia the fans thought they knew. The output during this era was impressive, as he allegedly wrote and recorded around 93 tracks before whittling them down to 18 for this album.
I made like 120 songs, and I just picked whatever from that. That's how I make music. I just make a bunch of shit and I pick whatever I like, really. That's the best way for me to work, personally.
This album was released on the 13th of September 2019 and once again received love from fans. The high-quality production on tracks like Jesus Forgive Me and Beta Male's Strategies, combined with the experimentation of his vocals on tracks like Grimy Waifu and the self-titled track of the album, made for an enjoyable listening experience. He also released a highly exclusive edition of the album on a USB. Only 100 were ever released, and today they go for around $300 on eBay. After this melodic album came Jpeg's magnum opus era.
Yeah.
This was our first introduction into what Peggy had been working on for the last year, and this sound was introduced to us through the single Bold, a tribute song for all the people with no hair, a very personal song. At this stage, Peggy seemed to have sacrificed an inch of his hairline with every release, and this album was made with the last strands of the hair from his head, until his hairline was later recovered with a hair transplant. However, this was just a hint of what would eventually evolve into his 2021 release. This was Jpegmafia's last albums under his recording contract, before he became an independent artist and he decided to go out with the Generational album. You could argue these albums were peak Peggy albums, and I would agree. This was his most refined album up to this point of his career, where he sounded like he had claimed his sound and established himself as not just one of the best in the genre, but in the entire underground. This album was fun, bold, energetic, and meanwhile he battled with the theme of self-reflection throughout. During the development of this album, Peggy was listening to a lot of pop music due to stress, and this influenced his sound throughout the album. Unfortunately, some of the samples for the LP were not cleared on time, so he decided to divide LP into online and offline variants. As to which one is better, I prefer the online version, but both have their highlights. Some of the best songs from these albums are Hazard Pay Duty, Bold, and especially the remix with Denzel Curry, which might be one of Curry's best verses ever made, along with OG, Rebound, and What Kind of Rapping Is This? These years were defining moments in Jpegmafia's career that allowed him to break through the criticism and solidify his position in the genre. The albums each felt like Peggy was pushing himself to his limits and let his creativity shine through his experimentation and diversity in sound, whether it was his shift from rage to more production-focused music.
My sound, organic for me, is essentially being out of my comfort zone at all times, pretty much. So like, and then trying to make sense of myself in this weird world.
As it seems like he's always implementing something new into every album he releases. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and comment your favorite Jpegmafia album. Cheers.